Tuesday, everybody, and welcome back to the Couchside Judges. I'm Scott Fontana. Follow me on Twitter at Scott_Fontana.
And I'm Dan Urban. Follow me on Twitter at @TheDanUrban. Follow the podcast at Couchside Judges. And subscribe to us wherever you listen.
And if you like this show, even though we're a day later than usual, give us that 5-star review. We earned it.
As usual, we talk judging in MMA. Head on over to abcboxing.com to read the criteria.
So, Dan, what we have here is a very special Tuesday edition of the Couchside Judges. Now, why is this special?
I was away.
Yeah, so we're a day late.
A day late, but I mean, it was totally worth it. The Giants are back, Super Bowl bound. First time we're starting the season 1-0 in like 6 years. Great game to be at.
I bet it was. You know what I'm not happy about? My team, my Carolina Panthers, and the stupid roughing the passer call. Am I wrong here? This was a stupid call.
I only saw one replay of it, but I'm a proponent of that quarterbacks deserve to be hit more. So obviously, I'm on your side.
There was no penalty there. It was BS. And that essentially created the opportunity for the Browns to get downfield enough for them to hit a 58-yard field goal that would have been good from 94. I'm pretty sure.
Just want to say, how does it feel? As a Giant fan, I lost a game to the Panthers with a monster kick like that.
I like that kick, but you have that kicker now.
Well, I don't think he has that leg anymore.
No, he doesn't. He does not. Graham Gano does not have that leg anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently, Graham Gano came into my wife's store like a year or two ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Or no, it wasn't him. It was like his nanny, the nanny for his kids or something. I don't know. Someone in the Graham Gano camp.
They call him Double G?
I don't know.
I'd call him Double G.
Probably. Maybe they call him Graham Cracker. Although that's kind of it's kind of like his first name plus like an epithet.
I like Nabisco graham crackers, honey flavored. They're delicious.
They are, but we are getting way off topic here. We ought to get back to the fights here, shouldn't we? We'll do the graham cracker podcast later in the week.
Yes.
Stay tuned for that one. No, we got to talk about UFC 279. Everyone's been waiting with bated breath to talk about, probably at least one decision on here. I think had a lot of people kind of talking, right? You started to see all the, was this a robbery conversations that usually come out of the ones that get a whole lot of attention, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to that fight later. We don't even need to name it just yet, but let's focus for starters on Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson, the fight that we did not expect to happen because it wasn't scheduled till Friday.
But we deserved.
But it was the fight we deserved. Yes, it was. And Dan, obviously you're our 209 guy here, right?
I am.
You're the 209 guy. You love that crew. You love the Nate Diaz army, the Nick Diaz army. You love all of it. Where does this fight rank among the Nate Diaz fights? Yes, that's right. Dan is signaling to me, because we don't have video. He's signaling to me the whiteboard in this room, which just says 209 Nick Diaz Army on it, and it has said that since Nick Diaz last fought.
Yeah, and that's thunder.
Ooh, I don't know if anybody heard that thunderclap there, but hey, we got some loud thunder here.
So Nate and Tony, great fight. I don't know about an all-time fight as far as Nate goes.
No, probably not.
But
although he did win it,
fight,
so it got to go up the ranks a little bit.
Fun fight. I mean, when I think all-time Nate Diaz fights, Conor won.
Sure, that's the one.
I remember being in there for the Rory Markham fight at 111.
We were there for that. Yeah, separately. We didn't know each other.
UFC on Fox 3, main event versus Jim Miller. That was a tough one for me.
That was a big one for him. Yeah. This was a solid fight.
This was a good fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like an overall good, not great fight. It did not get fight of the night honors, and probably deservedly so. I don't think it needed to. But it was fine. It was fine.
It was a good fight, good win.
Had the typical antics. You even got Tony getting into it. He did the Nick Diaz lie down.
He did. I was. Yep.
Did you enjoy that one?
He's paying tribute to Nick.
Oh yeah,
I liked it.
It was all love. Like you could tell there was just such respect. And then after the fight, they did the same thing. But like you could tell even in there was a lot of respect between these two guys.
Yeah, real recognizes real. So
indeed.
When it comes to these two guys, they don't really have to put on a show to be entertaining. Like they don't have to ham it up.
Sure. I mean, to a degree, that is kind of what they're doing, but.
Right, but it's natural. It's not.
It feels more natural coming from these two individuals than, let's say, someone else. I mean, imagine if Marvin Vittori started doing this or something like that. You'd be like, nope, pass. Doesn't work. But this obviously is the last time that we'll see Nate Diaz in the UFC, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, he's coming back for a title run, he said.
That's what he says, but, maybe he decides he doesn't want to do that anymore or something like that. Maybe he puts the UFC out of business with Real Fight Inc.
He beat the champ already, so...
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah. That retroactively becomes the champion for in some weird way. But what do you... as a fan especially want to see Nate do next? Like, what is it you want to see from him?
Well, I think Anderson Silva's doing God's work right now, and if somehow he fails at that
in fighting Jake Paul,
Jake Paul, I think let Nate do it next.
Which, by the way, as I tweeted out and I had asked him about this, I spoke to Anderson Silva earlier today. He is a grandfather, ladies and gentlemen. We need to pass along congratulations to Grandpa Spider over there, 47 years young. He's got a grandchild. He's very excited to corrupt and turn into the terror of his son's life, apparently. He's telling me.
Going to be showing the kids his violent finishes.
No. What he was saying to me was that he wants them to, trash the house, throw the shoes outside, light fires. Also, he was he really wants him to be just like a maniac to drive his son nuts, which is
kids
awesome.
Be kids.
Oh yeah. I mean, what kid didn't play with fire all over the house, right?
Yeah.
But he sounds like he's having a blast with it. But I mean, that's kind of the fight that I think everybody really anticipates would happen, right? Is Nate and Jake Paul.
I mean, but he also didn't throw out the he said jiu-jitsu even would be a possibility. One has a jiu-jitsu division. Maybe does some grappling fights.
And
so I'd be
one has that, I think they have 9 billion viewers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
one championship has 9 billion viewers. So they get 1 or 2 billion people from other planets to watch, which is kind of cool. Interstellar championship.
They got a big bank account. They wanted them, they get them. So.
Supposedly. There's a lot of fudgery in those numbers, so we'll see. But that would be interesting. It would be interesting to see him compete in jiu-jitsu. I feel like he wouldn't go to one. I feel like he would get other people to come where he is. Real Fight Inc., right?
Yeah, I guess.
If that's the route he's going, why would he go somewhere else and just make people come to him? It's different in that world because
maybe
co-promote really someone. I don't know that honestly. If it's just grappling, I don't know that he needs to.
Yeah,
I really don't. But he's talking about jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and MMA and boxing, all this stuff under one roof in this Real Fight Inc. Well, I forget what the slogan is, but it's real ninjas, real-ish, all that kind of stuff. Because we can't do the curses on our show. We got the Apple non-explicit thing. So I forget. We can't actually say his real thing. But yeah, I mean that's probably the fight. That honestly, win or lose, just do Nate Diaz against Jake Paul next. Or, you know what? I wouldn't even hate Nate Diaz against Anderson Silva in boxing. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool, too.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, no one won or lost the Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva fight. And I know they don't love to do common opponents kind of thing, but you know what? Maybe that one kind of squeezes through on a technicality.
Maybe. Yeah.
And that would be a lot of fun. What do you want from Nate? This is what I want. I want fun. I just want to have fun when I know that he's doing something that I might want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It better be fun.
How do you point with boxing gloves on?
Oh, that's a good question. He's going to have to take those off.
Yeah.
I mean, what's a slap in boxing? That's a good question.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. It's honestly, boxing's going to take away a lot of his powers.
It might actually.
How can he flip the middle finger with a boxing glove on? You can't hold your fist up like that. It doesn't work.
Just going to have to be verbal with
it. Maybe you could do the Italian thing. Fangool. He's not from Jersey, though. He's Cali, right? But I guess the other question, too, is Tony Ferguson here. Is obviously he lost this fight. I don't think he necessarily looked bad, but I don't think look, the version of Nate Diaz that we have now isn't necessarily the championship-winning Nate Diaz, right? We've seen better versions of Nate, I think. He's getting a little older.
I guess.
I know it's hard for you to say, right? But I think probably we're starting to see at least some decline in Tony Ferguson, right? He's lost several fights in a row. He's even looked good in some of them, but realistically, he's losing too many of these. He's coming out on the wrong end after winning so many in a row. The question I pose to you is, how should Tony Ferguson be booked going forward? What fights do you want him in? What division do you want him competing in? What do you want to see the rest of the way from Tony Ferguson. We can write him off as a championship contender, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So what do you want to see?
I mean, you can book him against Lee. Still, you can redo.
You want to do that fight again?
You can redo it. I mean, I don't know if
I felt like they just made that fight because they needed something.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting it was going into it. I don't know where I would put him. I think he's in the same boat. Just fun matchups. Really.
Yeah, I feel like he moves into kind of that. The guy who always comes to mind now is even though he's retired, Carlos Condit. Like that Carlos Condit division where maybe you still want to see him fight, but you kind of want to see him fight against guys he should be fighting. And I think that's where I'm at with Tony Ferguson. It's not like you can't put him in there against.
Did Condit retire?
Oh yeah, Condit did retire. Yeah,
retired.
He did. He officially retired. I assume he's out of the USADA pool, which is another good sign that he's retired. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's lightweights and welterweights that he could compete against that would be fun.
Jim Miller.
Jim Miller would be fun. I honestly think that would be a really good fight to put together. I really do.
And let them do it at whatever weight they want.
Yeah, shoot, why not?
Yeah, so
yeah, who cares about the weight classes anymore? Let them fight at. You know what? They should only fight at 165. I should let them fight for the inaugural 165-pound UFC title. I don't care about the legitimacy of just do it. It'd be fun. Let both of them get the chance to win the title, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm good with it. And Ferguson does have that win over Kevin Lee, who everyone was saying was they were talking about as maybe the 165-pound champ, right? That was kind of the gimmick, I guess. Yeah, so that'd be fun. I think we're more or less on the same page, I think, with Tony, right? What about Chimaev? Because Chimaev, of course, blew everything up when he missed Wade. And we all know the story. It's not like we have to beat this
I don't know how the man heel turn completely.
What do you mean heel turn completely?
He was not a loved man. He was. I mean, after he missed weight, a lot of people were high on him.
Yeah, but I think people still understand that he's skill. I think I don't know that he was necessarily
I thought people liked him
face before, but yeah, now obviously yes, he's very much leaned into that heel like you're talking about here. But like, what do you do with this guy now? Like he's in a position where he's obviously just amazing. The talent is there. Now, granted, this was as friendly a matchup as I thought Nate Diaz was for him, in the sense that he was probably going to be able to get a takedown right away, more or less get to a dominant position and just either pound it out or submit, and he ended up just submitting here.
Listen, I don't know if he submits Nate, and he was breathing very heavy. He'd have to pound him out, and the ref would have to stop it.
I think it would have been okay, but for argument's sake, we'll kind of keep going here. What do you want them to do now? I mean, do you want him to go down to 170 again? Do you think he should just abandon it? I mean, his coach was talking about, like, I guess cutting weight's been a lot harder ever since COVID and that kind of thing.
Well, he avoids the Covington matchup if he goes to middleweight. So
I don't know. Covington's talking about, according to Dana, taking fights like 3 different weight divisions.
Yeah,
right?
that was a while ago, though.
Oh, he was talking about it recently enough.
Yeah, I know. The next fight for him would be Covington if he stayed at welterweight.
If he stays at welterweight, that is probably the one that makes the most sense. But
middleweight's his quickest route to the belt. But he also said he won't fight Whitaker.
Yeah, that's fine. He doesn't need to fight Whitaker to get there. I actually wouldn't need that. There's other guys that I would feel okay with putting him in there just to get him to the title.
Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier.
Well, Vettori just lost, so it can't be that. Yeah, I think didn't Cannonier just lose
Costa?
to? Am I misremembering? Yeah, no, Cannonier just lost to Israel Adesanya. So no, maybe Cannonier at least losing to the champion, that makes him a little more sense.
Maybe Hamzat the guy that says he's gonna kill everybody and does kill everybody, versus the guy who says he wants to kill everybody and doesn't even come close to killing them. Sean Strickland.
That would be fun too.
That's what we should do.
Are they? I forget. Are they friendly or are they not friendly? I feel like they have some sort of relationship one way or the other.
I think I don't know. I have a clue.
Off the top of my head, it's been a long day, so I don't remember. But no, honestly, I would say just let the guy focus on middleweight. Just stop trying to cut down there. We're both anti-weight cutting anyway.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he cuts enough weight to get to 185 too, but definitely a lot less than when he cuts to 178.5.
Yeah, and then it just says I'm done.
Or the commission tells him to stop, or the doctor tells him to stop. It sounds like that was the case here, regardless. So no, I hope that he ends up at 185. But I would like to see him if he's committed to 185, fast track him. Just give him a number 1 contender bout off the bat. It does not need to be Robert Whitaker, because let's say he goes in there and he wins, then Robert Whitaker can get a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have that as Hamzat really can't say no at that point.
Right.
So that would be good.
I just really want to see the wrestling matchup with Covington.
Yeah.
So that's most intriguing to me overall. So
it's not the wrestling that intrigues me. I think that would be an interesting fight on the whole, though. It would be interesting to see how it would play out. But yeah, I don't want it at 170. I don't really want to see him at 170 anymore. I'm kind of done with that. Before we get into contested rounds, we do have 9 of them here, 5 of them from the pay-per-view, actually. Really bad news, unfortunately, over the weekend. Some real sad news that is kind of affected the MMA community at large is the death of Elias Theodoro, UFC veteran, Ultimate Fighter winner. He's 34 years old. Apparently was going through a private battle with cancer, and he succumbed to cancer on September 11th. So that was very sad news to come out that evening. I know everybody on social media who pretty much had any interaction with him to any degree was really broken up about it, really affected by it. You only heard stories about how he was just this all-around good guy, nice guy, trailblazer, for people especially who believe in cannabis as and its medicinal properties and that kind of thing. But that just the fact that there was one that stood out to me, Dan. I don't know if you saw this. There was a video posted from Michael Chiesa, and Michael Chiesa was talking about how I guess there was one time they were at like a speaking engagement, or Chiesa had some sort of speaking engagement he was going to be doing at this event, and Theodoro was there, and he's like, "Well, I don't have a jacket." And Theodoro literally gives him the jacket like off his back, like it's literally the shirt off your back.
Yeah,
wow. And that Chiesa still had the jacket. He was talking in this little video. He's like, "This is the jacket," so he never got to give it back to him.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I know a lot of
Sad
people
stuff.
are broken up by it. Yeah, it's my heart goes out to all of those people. Goes out to his family, his friends, those closest to him, those who interacted with him. It made me sad that I never actually had the chance to meet him or work with him or know him in any capacity, because he seems like just a decent dude. And I like decent people. So
yeah,
and solid fighter. Honestly, I always thought he got a raw deal being let go by the UFC, because look, he may not have been the most entertaining fighter. It's I don't think we're sullying the name to say that, but he is legitimately, I thought he was a top 15 middleweight in the world, because he was only losing to some of the best guys. So I thought he got gypped there. I didn't like that.
All right,
but it is what it is. It's we would not unfortunately have gotten much more out of him. The last fight of his career, Dan, was against Brian the Beast Baker, former Bellator veteran who actually himself was a cancer survivor. I just thought that was very interesting when I think it was Aaron Bronster actually tweeted that out. So it's just very sad, very sad. Cancer sucks. F cancer. But yeah, we're on to contested rounds here. We do have 9, as I mentioned, 9 rounds here. Daniel Rodriguez fight is the one that we are going to spend, I think, probably the most time on here. Daniel Rodriguez getting the split decision win over Li Jingliang in a fight that I think a lot of people thought was going to be maybe a victory for Li. It was a close fight, but it ended up being a split, 29-28, all 3 ways, except every round was split. We find out later.
Yeah, so I went into this fight knowing people were upset about it.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of
now I'm kind of
unavoidable, right?
Wondering why, but
we'll get
MMA
to it,
community, makes me shake my head all the time. So
yes, they do. Let's get into it though. Let's start with round 1. What happens in round 1?
Pretty competitive round here. I think Rodriguez is landing good punches to the head. Lee is landing some solid kicks to the body and to the legs. Rodriguez throwing a couple kicks of his own. I think a few of Rodriguez's punches to the head really stood out more as the more impactful strikes, so I'm on him, 10-9. But Lee lands good in the final 45 seconds. Good leg kick, good left punch to the head. It's a really close round.
I thought the kicks in general from Lee were actually doing a real good job in this round. Like kicks to different zones, really, the body as well.
Body and leg.
Yeah, I liked seeing it. I thought that was just barely. I thought that was more damaging on the whole. So I ended up going with Lee here. But yeah, I'm not broken up about you going the other way. Not at all.
No.
So you ended up in the majority on that one. Rodriguez was the majority. Judges Doug Crosby and Ron McCarthy had it your way. I saw it as Mike Bell did. But yeah, so we're split here. But yeah, no, nothing crazy.
Also, commentary did no favors for people on Lee. So.
That's just true. That does, how it happens. Especially Rogan seems to find these grooves, right? I think he's notorious for this kind of thing, right? Round 2. What's happening here, sir?
Another close round. I think Rodriguez is landing with more force. His leg kicks are pretty impactful. I see Lee throwing hard, but he's missing with those hard ones. The ones he lands aren't aren't thrown with as much force. Again, not really landing at to the head much, just sticking with the legs and body. Lee does land a big punch that backs Rodriguez off a little bit. Probably the most, I want to say maybe biggest part of the round, but really not that big of a moment in the round. Doesn't really take advantage of it and allows Rodriguez to regroup, lands a couple more shots of his own, including a partially blocked head kick at the end of the round. I think it's Rodriguez 10-9.
Actually, I thought this was the closest round in the whole fight.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest, I did see it your way too. I saw it the same way with Rodriguez getting the round, but I thought this was the one that was. I don't want to say coin toss. It's not. That's not the right verbiage, but it was a round that I think had the easiest case for both men to get this round. It was very close, and they each had kind of some moments here, right?
Yeah.
You know. Anytime you've got that, if you want to say, okay, especially the judges in particular, like if Ron McCarthy, who had this one for Lee, if what he saw was, hey, this guy was really hurt in this situation, he really did a lot more damage in this situation, or even just enough, right? Just enough more damage than Rodriguez in kind of these higher spots, then it goes that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to defer to the judges in that situation, right? They're a lot closer. They can read it a lot more than we can at home.
Oh, yeah, they're right there.
So, but yeah, we're both on Rodriguez here. Bell and Crosby had it the same way as us. Like I said, Lee he only got the round from McCarthy in this case. But yeah, nothing wrong with here too. And round 3 now we're at. What's going on here?
I thought this was a pretty close round. I think Rodriguez has the volume edge. Lee landed a little bit stronger here, especially to the body, few to the head. But I thought Rodriguez was getting the better reactions, even though Lee was landing some shots. I didn't think they were as effective as what Rodriguez was doing with his jab, snapping the head back with almost every single one he landed. This fight doesn't feel like a 30-27, but I think Lee needed a little more in each round to get it. Very close fight. I don't see anything to be upset about either way. So.
But how can you give it 30-27 when it was a close fight, Dan? That's supposed to be a split decision.
That's the 10-point must.
A close fight, you're supposed to score a split decision for. You're supposed to write split decision. I don't get it. Judges, man, they're the worst. Sal D'Amato.
Wasn't even on this
He
fight.
wasn't on this fight. No, again, this is a close enough round. But I think I'm with you here. I had this one for Rodriguez. So you and I both saw it the same way as Mike Bell in this case. He was the only judge, though. Judges Crosby and McCarthy saw this one for Lee. So this is the only round that Lee won the majority of judges in a round here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically speaking, if you want to just go on aggregate, Rodriguez wins round 1, Rodriguez wins round 2, and then Lee wins round 3. Obviously, we don't score fights like that, but that's kind of what we have here. But because you and I had it the same way as the out judge, Bell here, what does that mean for Mr. Mike Bell?
Couchside override.
Got to ship that one cross country. That is in the mail. One of these days, I'm actually going to send one. I mean, I always send them. I always send them. It's just the mail service. I'll hand deliver one next time. No, not next time. Definitely not next time. That would just be crazy. But yeah, so that is it for that fight. I mean, robbery is obviously the buzzword that we see out of here. Lee was wearing a robbery shirt on Ariel Helwani's show Monday. Look, if the fighter wants to do it, and I'm honestly echoing the thoughts of Caposa, which I saw were tweeted earlier today, but I agree with wholeheartedly. If Lee wants to do it, fine, absolutely. He feels like he was wronged. He wants to win. That doesn't mean it actually was. All right, guys. Just chill. You can get there. You can get to that score. Dan had 30-27 Rodriguez. I don't think that's a crazy score. It's not crazy to do the leech for 30-27. It's not. All these rounds are close. We feel like we could go one way with these rounds, but we also understand the counter argument. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, it's a close fight. It's not a robbery.
No. But it is unfortunate for Lee because he had the worst luck all week, right?
Did he?
Yeah, dude. He had the you didn't see the blue suit? This like awesome custom blue suit that he was going to wear.
I just pulled up a picture of it real quick. Yeah, that's all. I don't know what the deal.
So the deal was that he was, he got this suit for the press conference. He's going to the press conference, and then the press conference gets canceled because of all the backstage shenanigans.
Yeah.
And so that was Hamzat again, right?
Apparently
messing up everything. Couldn't even show off the suit.
They didn't even show any.
Then he messes up the matchup. He was going to have Tony Ferguson. Maybe he beats Ferguson. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, at least Nate went 2-0.
I'm just
on
saying.
the weekend.
I'm just saying he got a raw deal. And you know what he did? Do you know what Lee did for Tony Ferguson earlier in the week?
Not a clue.
Tony was walking near some cables, and you know what Lee did? He made sure to warn him, be careful. He pulled them out of the way.
That's
he
funny.
was warning him. It was hilarious. It was wonderful.
That's funny.
It was the greatest
Yeah.
thing I've ever seen. And that's not hyperbole, obviously. But we can move on, though, from this fight. We do have actually 2 rounds in the Nate Diaz-Tony Ferguson fight, though, which, of course, ended round 4 guillotine choke submission. Before that, rounds 2 and 3 were split. So what that meant is that on one card, Tony Ferguson was actually winning the fight through 3 rounds. That was interesting. So let's talk about these 2 rounds. Start with round 2, sir.
Round 2, Diaz opens up with a really strong leg kick, and it's not the most popular strike in the Diaz arsenal.
No, not typically, but you saw more of it this time.
Yeah, that was a good kick. Although a good round for Ferguson, he has some success with the leg kicks. His leg is still bleeding like a faucet.
Right, from the check kick in the
Yeah.
first round.
He landed some good combos, a nice uppercut, but I think the tried and true 1-2s from Diaz is the most effective. You know, Ferguson has a busted up face. It's a close round, but I'm on Diaz 10-9.
Yeah, I think that damage on the face, like you actually have to give that some weight because especially it's right near the eye, right? And that's not cumulative. That seemed to have happened in that particular round. This is immediate damage, right? I think when you gotta weigh that more heavily than you would just like let's say a scrape on the cheek or something like that, right? This is something.
Oh yeah,
it's something to account for. So I think that not that alone wins the round for him, but it certainly makes a close round I think much easier for me to give it to Diaz than to give it to Ferguson.
But he's getting the better effect on the strike. Those 1-2s and Ferguson's bending and he's trying.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I'm just saying if you want to say okay, this is damn close. Outside of the actual physical damage left behind on the eye there, I think it makes it much easier to go the other way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that Judge Junichiro Kamijo was like wrong to give this round. I don't think this was a bad score or anything like that, but I do think the better score here would have been Diaz. That's my opinion. Maybe he didn't have as good a view on it. I don't know. Because what if he doesn't know how the bleeding started there? Who knows? It's tough to say if you can't see where the strike came from, right? So that is we're on the same page here. Sal D'Amato, Ron McCarthy, we saw it their way. Like I said, Judge Kamijo had it for Ferguson, but not my favorite score.
Okay,
that's fair to say. Round 3, where are we at now?
Oh well, this is a weird round. Ferguson, his leg kicks are starting to pay off now a little bit.
Yes, they are.
He lands
the cumulative damage.
He lands a big inside leg kick, and then you can see Diaz. He starts like limping a little bit, and then he gets hit with a left, and it felt like Nate got poked in the eye. Is what it looked like from the angle we had, and he like kind of backs off like timeout, and then I think Tony's confused what's going on, and the referee's like, "Come on, fight!" And Nate's like, "No." I'm like, "What's happening here?" And then that's when Tony decided, well, he's going to pay homage to Nick Diaz and just lay down.
Did the lay down, yep.
And I think the ref was confused. He didn't know what was happening.
Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard was, yeah, that's right. Mark Goddard. I was trying to remember who it was.
It was Mark. He was talking about that fight on Twitter today.
Okay. So then Nate storms after him again. It was really weird. He'd back off and then I don't know, trying to fake him out or something.
It's the head games, right?
Really. Ferguson needed to pounce in these situations. He kind of let him off the hook, I think, a little bit.
There were times, though, I will say, like you could see, and I don't remember which particular round, to be honest here, but there were situations where Nate would do the, he'd like bend over, turn to the side, do the things where he's like clearly not going to hit, and then Tony would come in and he would get something in, and you could see Nick, or God, I keep wanting to call him Nick, don't I? You could see Nate kind of acknowledge him and be like, all right, yeah, you got it. It's like, maybe just stop doing it, Nate. It's not working. It's not actually helping you.
So, yeah, but I thought Nate did land a bunch to the head. It's close because the leg kicks to Diaz, and he had good reactions. I favor the shots to the head. I think they had Ferguson in more danger, caused more damage, felt closer to a fight-ending strikes. So I'm on 10-9 Diaz.
I was very torn, for all the reasons you outlined. So the fact that Judge Kamijo had Ferguson here, that makes a lot more sense to me than round 2, to be perfectly honest. But I did like as you, I had it for a Diaz round. So we were in the majority with Judges D'Amato and McCarthy. And then, of course, the judges didn't matter anyway because Nick, oh my God. Can he just change his name to Nick for me?
It's Nate now.
Nathan Diaz.
Nathan
Diaz managed to finish with the the pose guillotine choke as well. He got the little flexing in there at the end too. It was an indelible image. Really good way to finish his current phase of his UFC career, I guess we can call it, right?
There'll be another phase.
That's so you say. Moving on though, we do have 4 more rounds. This one was the deciding round in a split decision that opened the prelims. Johan Linus, right? Oh, gosh, his name. These names I should be much more awake than I am right now, unfortunately. But he got the win over Darian Weeks. Much easier name to say. Like I said, split decision, all 29-28s around. Round 3, our decider. What's happening here?
Yeah, lower output round, so really no shock. We got a split here.
Always tough.
Yeah. Early, not much landing. Lanus throws a blocked head kick. Weeks throws a blocked spin kick. Lanus grabs a front headlock from standing, looking to, for a guillotine, but nothing there. Weeks lands a couple knees to the gut. They separate. Weeks is looking for a takedown. Lanus lands some good elbows to the head, forcing Week to move his head to the outside, which Lanus used to grab a Kimura, and we just stalemate here for minutes. Once they break, they both pick up the output a little bit, but really not much effective landing. I think Weeks lands a decent left hand, and Lanus landed a good body kick. I lean Lanus. No issue either way. 10-9 Lanus.
I have to say, the gall to put Tony Weeks on a Darian Weeks fight was gutsy. Obviously they're the same person now. They can. I'm sure Tony Weeks can do his job just fine with Darian Weeks, who I am quite certain he's not related to, because why would they put that together?
That wouldn't happen.
It doesn't make any sense. So we're kidding here, of course. I had it for Lanus as well. But yeah, these low output rounds, I mean, you got to give the judges something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to give them something to score. And these guys just didn't really do enough. I think there was a little bit of an outcry after this one, too. And I was like, man, how could we get here? Then everybody forgot about it as the night went on, and then the another split decision replaced that one, so everybody just forgot about the prelims. But
I do want to point out the Kimura wasn't a submission. It was just a Kimura grip defending a single leg.
Right.
And they stayed there for a long time.
Yeah, quite a stalemate. Nothing really going on. So yeah, but yeah, I had the same as you, same as Mike Bell, same as Tony Weeks, who went against Darian Weeks. See, there's no bias, not at all, just because they have the same last name. But it was Ron McCarthy who saw this one for Weeks. He was in the minority here. We didn't see it his way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if it went the other way, shoot, what are you gonna do? Throw up your hands, pretty much. Yeah, do more.
Yeah, just
do more. Just do more. Fight. Try to win. That's not really what it looked like in there, right? 3 more rounds. None of these ended up being really consequential, I guess, to the finish, right? Because we've got one more split round, and then we've got 2 10-8s. Let's start with that last split round here. Round 1 of a fight that ended in round 2. Dennis Tululin got the win over Jamie Pickett. TKO in the second round. What happened in round 1, though?
He lost a point in the second round, too.
He did. We don't need to worry about that. He negated that. But yeah, in round 1, and actually in round 1, he does land that. A big low blow that kind of ended up going to the second one. But I'll let you set up the round.
Yeah, very competitive round. I think Pickett comes out and seems to be taking over. He's landing some solid left hands and kicks, and then he gets stumbled. Didn't help he was on one leg during that stumbling, but from this point on, it felt like Pickett was losing a little steam. He kind of immediately shot after he stumbled. So, I mean, maybe it stung a little bit. Tululian started to gain some momentum, landed some good shots from about the 2-minute mark on. I didn't see the same effect on Pickett's side. And Tululian edges it out in my eyes, so 10-9 him.
Yep, I had it that way too. Close round, but I went that way. I don't really have much more to say. And it didn't matter, right? It just didn't matter. Judges Adelaide Bird and Judge Junichiro Kamijo had this one the same as you and I. It was Sal D'Amato on his own for Pickett. Okay.
Yeah, I got no issue.
Yeah, no issue. Now let's move on to our 10-8 splits, sir. Starting with Chris Barnett, who got the win in the second round over Jake Collier after being, pretty messed up in the first round. Everyone's talking about his jaw might be broken, he might have nerve damage, can't see out of his eye. He definitely can't see out of the eye. That I don't think anyone could dispute whether he could see out of that eye very well. But when you heard him talk after the fight, and you heard him talk on videos posted later, it didn't seem like he broke his jaw or that he had nerve damage. Who knows what was going on? But either way, it wasn't going his way in round 1. Why not?
Well, he gets dropped early.
Yeah, that'll hurt.
Gets back up, and Collier stumbles him again. Somewhat of a knockdown. Kind of just fell down to a knee. And they just let the leather fly for like a full minute straight. It was pretty awesome.
This was the type of heavyweight fight we enjoy.
And then I mean they got a little tired after that.
They did. Yeah.
As the round goes on, Barnett, he starts coming back a little bit. He's landing some good shots, but Collier gets a big trip, good impactful takedown right into the mount. Barnett gives his back up, and he just starts pounding on him. Then attacks the neck. No real choke attempt, more of a neck crank than anything. But I do think he was landing a lot of shots. I think he hits all 3Ds here to some degree. Damage easily being the highest degree. So I'm on 10-8.
Dan, didn't I say I was looking forward to this fight, by the way?
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't say that for a lot of heavyweight fights, and this is why. This ended up being a good fight. I really enjoyed this one. If this was fight of the night, it really wouldn't have been that bad, but Chris Barnett was ineligible for post-fight bonuses. He missed the heavyweight limit.
Yeah. Is that the first time someone's missed
heavyweight?
No.
It happened earlier this year. I want to say Justin Taffa?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the second time, twice this year, and this was 267.5. Not great.
It's a big boy.
But we're only talking about the judging here. You had the 8. I also gave the 8 to Jay Collier. I thought the damage was there. And once you had the damage, and I think there was some good dominance and duration too. I think there's duration of damage that he was landing at times too. And yeah, so I feel good here. Being a 10-8. I think this is what we kind of want out of a 10-8. Judges Mike Bell and Ron McCarthy agreed. Tony Weeks was on the 9 here. Tony Weeks, who had been kind of known for a long time, at least in terms of my data that I track, he was kind of like almost always the 9, right? Mm-hmm. And then lately, he's been like way pushing for the 8. It was almost like he was trying to figure it out. I'm just reading the tea leaves here. I'm not in his head, but it looked like he was trying to test it out a little bit, figure out where the limits were, but he wasn't on the same page, and doesn't seem he is yet. So hopefully more recalibration, they can all get on the same page, and this can just be a unanimous 8. That's what I hope, anyway.
Yeah.
But didn't matter. Like I said, Chris Barnett comes back and he wins the fight. I don't think either of these guys were going 15.
Well, round 2, I was like, if this makes it out, how are they going to even answer the bell for round 3? Either guy.
Yeah, but we've seen it before.
Yeah, but I also was like,
seen it.
If this the way this is heading, this is like trending 10-7.
No,
it was getting there until then it got stopped. Obviously,
yeah,
he was just pounding on him.
I guess I don't know. It's hard to say. I would imagine he would have slowed down.
I don't know. He didn't stop. He just kept punching.
Fair enough.
I don't know where he found that energy. Then he was drinking beers on the way out.
Yes, he was. Well, there's some more energy, I guess. And then the last fight here, this is another 8, like I said. Norma Dumont getting the clear victory over Danielle Wolf, who was known as a boxer, but was definitely getting lit up on the feet for a lot of this fight, too. It was 30-27 twice and a 30-26. The 10-8 split occurred in the third round, where it had no actual impact on the result. But what happened here? Let's talk about this anyway.
Yeah,
we got to do our due diligence.
Yeah, she gets an early takedown, and Wolf is fighting. She's preventing the pass. She's not making it easy. She's throwing some punches from the bottom.
I think she acquitted herself okay for someone who is definitely not a grappler
for the early part of the round. But once Dumont, she stands up, she passes, she goes right to mount. From here, Wolf switched from fighting to surviving. Really, it was what it felt like. Dumont was landing big punches, overwhelming her on the ground in the transitions. Wolf is just trying not to get finished. Really, fighting spirit's diminished.
I don't even know that Wolf does anything.
Yeah, Dumont's pushing for the finish with solid elbows and punches. I think this is a 10-8.
I feel like this is an 8 too. This is one I feel less strong about than the other one, but I think I think it gets there. Mm-hmm. I think it does. I think you can get there with the D's as well. And so did Sal D'Amato. He hit it that way. But he was on his own. Judges Doug Crosby and Junichiro Kamijo, they had a 9 here for Dumont. I think Sal got it. I think he got it right.
Yeah, that's a 10-8.
Yeah, what does that mean though? We're with him.
Couch side override.
I'm gonna walk that one to Wisconsin. No, I'm not. Won't do it. Never been to Wisconsin. You ever been to Wisconsin?
No.
You ever gonna go?
I might do a game at Lambeau.
I would go to Wisconsin. Why not?
Yeah, Lambeau.
I want to go to all the ballparks, so I got to get over to Milwaukee.
Exactly.
It used to be Miller Park, and now it's some other stupid name.
That's what I have to do. I checked off 1 this year. No, 2 this year.
Well, 2. Oh, that's right. You went to Fenway.
Fenway? Did I do 2? No, I was supposed to have 3. I don't want to get into it.
You don't want to kill the vibe?
Just upset me.
All right, that's fine. We can skip it over. But yeah, that is it. We got all 9 rounds in. Finishes. We had 7. 3 of them by KO, TKO. 4 by sub. It's not often that we get more subs than then strike-based finishes, right?
Mm.
And then 3 of these were in the first round. I know you didn't like the Nick Diaz finish, right? Yeah, I'll just lean into it. It had to be it, right?
There's no surprise here.
Yeah.
Like Nate Diaz, guillotine, opportune guillotine, just left his neck hanging out there, grabbed it up, got the tap with exactly 2:09 left on the clock.
No.
2:09 was left on the clock at the tap.
Okay, at the moment
At
the
the
tap
very
occurred,
the tap happened.
the clock
at
that was
2:09.
ticking down read 2:09.
Yes.
But that is not how they mark down how
No.
the fight ended.
But it does. I mean, that's the visual.
Right, the visual, yes, is 2:09.
So-
I will give you that. If you did a screen grab, you could get that.
Go to Joe Rogan's Insta.
Yeah,
You'll see it there.
there you go. Yeah. Has anyone heard of Joe Rogan's Instagram? Joe Rogan. He does the commentary. But yeah, I like that you wrote Diaz, and I didn't even watch yet for your pick.
Yeah.
So just obviously not even trying. You're just gonna say it anyway. But of course, why not?
Yeah. Go. What do you got?
Me, I had this one. This was so weird. Like, I don't know how much were you able to watch this at all
I didn't
live?
watch the whole fight. No, I didn't see
No,
anything live.
Okay, so you didn't watch it live. I'm watching it live. Did you know about this before you got to see it?
I saw a highlight of it, like just scrolling Twitter.
Okay, so you still don't really, you didn't have the same experience that I think a lot of us did, was we're watching this fight, Irene Aldana. She's on the ground, and Macy Chiasson is up there. You know, she's starting to throw maybe some up kicks, and then one of them lands in the side there, and all of a sudden Macy Chiasson just goes down, and I'm only like partially watching at this moment because I was kind of swamped with other work responsibilities at this point, so I didn't know exactly what was happening. I'm watching it. I actually sort of watching the exchange, but I missed this particular thing, and I'm like, well, what happened? And everyone's kind of wondering, did she go down? Is she injured? What's going on? They wave the fight off. She's not getting up, and they figure out, oh, it was an up kick that was a liver shot.
Yeah.
Which I can't find anyone produce evidence that says, oh yeah, we saw this in, Akhmat MMA in 2014 between, so-and-so Russian guy and this guy from, South Korea or something like that. No, nothing.
It was strange because even Jason Herzog, he goes over to him and he's like, well, what hurts?
Yeah.
So, and then I guess he obviously he figured it out.
Yeah. Well, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Knows a lot of languages and think he's like an engineer.
But that was an interesting knockout.
Yeah.
So
that was wild. So like when you're watching it, you're like, what's going on? And then you figure it out, and you're like, once you put the pieces together later, you're like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like not the same reason, but in Anchorman when he finds that Baxter had eaten the whole wheel of cheese, it's like, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. You went from like one feeling to another. It's just very interesting. Yeah, so that was mine. And I saw some people talking about this as like potential KO of the year. I feel like it can't be just because there was the whole confusion, right? It's fascinating, but is it spectacular? I don't know. That's what I want. I want something spectacular out of my knockouts.
Was it an intentional strike?
Was it an intentional strike?
To the body? Was
her intent to kick the liver?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
who knows? I'm not in her head. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. So I didn't see anything one way or the other, her saying that, oh yeah, I meant to do it, or no, it just happened. So it doesn't matter. It happened. I don't care if it was an accident. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, that's my argument comes in.
Fair enough.
That's why subs are better than knockouts. There's no accidental There's no accidental sub. So
well, kind of.
Never.
Von Fluchoke.
That is not accidental.
I mean, it's not, but
it's a technique.
I know, but it requires someone else's participation.
I guess.
Oftentimes it does. I think. I'm sure. Look, I haven't spent as much time on the mats in a long time that I would really like to. And as I've been saying to you, hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe soon I'll actually get back on the mat.
That'd be awesome.
We'll see. Things have to align. Stars need to align, but yeah. Someone prove me wrong. There's a lot of grapplers who listen to this show, and you can tell me, hey, Scott, you're an idiot. And that's fine. That's okay. I'll take it. But that is it for UFC 279. That is it for the 209 in the UFC.
For now.
Unless, for now for him. If Nick decides he wants to come back, I kind of hope he doesn't. It'd be nice if he would just...
He was hurt.
I just don't...
He took the fight. He was hurt. He had to take it for whatever reason. He had to take it. But
I want him to be happy in his life and not fighting, because he seems to not love it anymore.
I don't think he ever loved it.
Maybe not. But he knew he was good at it and needed the money a little more than probably he does now. I hope he doesn't need money. That's all. That's where I'm really at. I just hope he doesn't need money. I hope they all don't need money. Unfortunately, too many do. But let's look ahead. Before we get going here, UFC Vegas number 60. Been a while since we had one of these at the Apex, but we'll have 3 in a row, so get used to it. But there's a break in there, though. Corey Sandhagen, Song Yadong. I like this headliner.
Good matchup there.
I'm very happy with it. 2 young guys. Sandhagen is 30, so he's not that young anymore. But I still feel like he's got several years left before he might not even have hit his actual prime yet. I think he's still building up to something. I think I would not rule him out to become the champion someday. Corey Sandhagen. There's just too much potential for violence there, and I think he hits the right stride, gets a little bit of matchups here. Maybe he can win the title. But Song Yadong, he's only 24.
Yeah, he's really young,
and he's been fighting in the UFC for like 5 or 6 years or something like that. It's wild. He's been here since he's a kid. Now he's a young man, and he's got a lot of momentum coming in here. I like this fight a lot.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This should be an interesting fight. I'm gonna lean Sandhagen though.
Okay, I'm not making any pick, but you do you, sir.
I'm just leaning that way.
You're leaning that way. I get you. No bets.
No bets.
No bets. Bets are over, right?
Bets are over.
That's all right.
I'm on to college football now.
There you go. That's your stride. By the way, I put $1 on every NFL Week 1 under.
Okay.
And I went 11-5.
So you won.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
That's how that works.
That's a good win.
Yeah.
I was making sure you didn't parlay it.
No. No, I did not do a
difficult.
parlay. I did $1 on each one. I said, well, let's see how it shakes out, because I figure at the worst maybe I lose a few cents. At the most, I maybe gain a few cents, and I ended up doing really well. And I mean, like I said, it's $1 each, so it's not like I probably now I can go buy like an ice cream.
Yeah.
Just treat myself to an ice cream
For sure.
There you go. Any other fights you're looking forward to on this card in particular?
In particular, just because it's recent Contender Series guy Joe Pyfer.
Okay.
He was from Week 1 when Dana had his infamous rant about what Tuesday night is all about.
That was when we were. I was actually still in Niagara. You were home.
Yeah,
at that point,
and he said, "Be Joe Pyfer."
That's right.
And so this is that guy. He's getting his shot against a guy who's has to win, must win. He's 0-3 in the UFC. Alan Amendov.
Amendovsky? Is that who it is?
I'll get. It's Alan. What is it? I got it.
It's a middleweight, right?
Yeah. Alan Amendovsky.
Yeah.
So he's 0-3 in the UFC. Must win for him.
Now my question is
Pyfer has a lot of pressure, I would imagine.
Is his nickname B now?
I don't know. It's just
will Bruce just announce him as B Joe Pyfer?
I think that's what it has to be. I don't know.
I'm just asking you. I don't know much about Joe.
I believe
Pyfer,
he's a Philly guy actually too. So
all right, is that of that crew?
Yeah.
All right.
The Felder crew.
Okay.
So
right on.
What about you? Any other fights?
Honestly, there's not like a lot of fights that I'm like, yeah, that fight. It's more like so many of these fights I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting, I guess. I think I like the totality of the prelims and undercard under the main event more than I like most individual fights, which I guess is a way of saying I like this card.
Mm-hmm.
On the whole.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the one fight that still jumps out at me is Chidi Njokuani and Gregory Rodriguez. I like that one quite a bit. I think this will be a fun one. RoboCop. Or what do they call him? Barack Obama, right? Everyone thinks he looks like Barack Obama. That's what everybody says.
Jacked Obama.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
Something like that. I forget exactly what it is. I mean, I guess I can sort of see it in the sense that they both are humans. They both look like human beings. So yeah, sure, there's a resemblance. But no, I would say I like this fight. Just I think they're interesting fighters. I think we have the potential for a really fun fight. That's what I like about it.
It should be a good one.
Yeah. That was it. You didn't have any other fights you were looking forward to? You're kind of like me, maybe, or
I mean, there's names on there I'm interested in, like Bill Algeo, Andre Feely.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a
decent fight.
That's what I mean. Like that's like a fight that rises to the level of like I'm interested enough, but I'm not like
Damon Jackson and Pat Sabatini. That might be a fun one.
There you go.
Chevin Drowse is on the card, so I think it's gonna be a good card.
Now you gonna be okay with
it's 15 fights though.
Yeah, we'll see how many of them make it.
It's a 4:00 start, right?
Don't forget, Aspen Ladd is on this one at 135 pounds. Supposedly.
Oh yeah, Sarah McMahon.
So maybe 14.
Okay.
I want only for her to be healthy and safe. But I have very little confidence that she can get to 135 healthy and safe. I hope she proves me wrong. I want her to be healthy.
Maria Agapova is on here.
You like her?
She
Oh,
had
she's-
a lot of steam.
She burned
and
you before, right?
She's had a lot of steam, and then I don't really know. We'll see. She's playing Jillian Robertson. Oh yeah, overall good card.
That's
So,
what I'm.
4 o'clock start.
Are you gonna be okay in this post Nate Diaz world though in the UFC?
Oh yeah.
Who do you even? Who are you looking forward to watching now? Who's like your guy in the UFC?
I'm on Bo Nickel.
That's right. You're
I'm
a Bo Nickel guy
a
now.
Bo Nickel guy now.
You're gonna ride and die with him.
I'm riding with Bo Nickel,
Okay.
future champ at 170.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
All right.
And Jim Miller's still fighting.
That's
Just like-
then he's your guy.
He is my guy.
Yeah.
He's always been my
you
guy.
got Frankie Edgar for another month and a half, 2
The
months.
thing is, I rooted for BJ against Frankie, so
Yeah.
Frankie's never been my.
He's not. I thought he was still in there.
He's in the mix, but he's not like
We're doing the Dana White in the mix thing.
if he's fighting. It depends who he's fighting. Really.
So if he's not fighting a Diaz brother, or he's not
Jim.
fighting Jim Miller, or he's not fighting BJ Penn, then him.
yeah,
I thought that's still pretty high on the list, sir.
yeah, he is pretty high up there.
Because those guys, he's not going to fight ever again.
That's true. I mean, yeah, all right, fair enough. And that does it. We'll be back again on Monday as usual.
Yeah, back to the real day.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful week. And, yeah, enjoy those fights.